funny is I'm dehydrated, right? But I drink coffee like it's gonna hydrate me. No, that's why I have my emotional support hydro flask. Because that will be there to support me, right? That will be there. So I will be taking a lot of sippies during this episode. Hello? Everyone, let's give a round of applause for episode 2. Let's give a round of applause for adding a camera. There's so much that has happened, y'all. And I know what everyone's thinking. Kayla, you uploaded one episode of a podcast and you think you're a star. I'm not saying you're wrong, right? But I just need you all to know that I had multiple episodes filmed and ready to upload. However, there were barriers within the uploading that made it so hard to get it out to y'all. So my bad for that. But I think the easiest form will be me doing like a video kind of format. Because I absolutely love doing the whole like video podcast moment. I watch podcasts like no other. And I listen to them when I drive. But for the most part, I'm watching a podcast. It's just so much more entertaining for me. So I'm doing that. I do have like a fear of me being annoying because I feel like, but you know what? Like, I'm gonna pull back on that because people who really do want to sit and listen, they will sit and listen. You know what I mean? But people who don't, they're gonna not listen. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. There's some podcasts where I think that the host has the most annoying voice or the content isn't really there. There's an airplane crossing right now. But anywho, y'all, there's been so much that has happened. Like, I'm just so excited to sit and upload. Not like it's great news, like what I'm about to update y'all on, it's not really that great of news, but I think that I'm just excited to be like back in the flow, like mentally wanting to create. It's also summer and I'm also unemployed. So that means that for the most part, I have the house to myself most days of the week, at least for the next couple of weeks. But things will change. So I want to take advantage of having like a quiet space to be able to film content and whatnot. But yeah, I'm excited. I really want to update y'all. I do have a very unprofessional setup, but who needs a professional setup when I'm the one talking and it's all about, I'm about to update y'all on my life. It's not that big of a deal. Anywho, so the last episode, the first episode of this podcast came at a very like weird time in the sense that it was kind of like right before the drama of my life that had occurred. And it was a time where I couldn't process my feelings, right? Like it was so new that I kind of just pretended like I didn't have these feelings. But now I have been processing so many feelings for the past couple of months because I've been in the mind space to do so. And it's really difficult. Like, it's so difficult. I feel like no one talks about the reality of like dealing with somebody passing away. And it may also be me because I'm not consistently surrounding myself with like those type of resources, because sometimes talking about it too much gets me too much into a negative mind space. And I think I'm at the point now where ever since my grandma passed, I'm at the point now where I'll still cry at any moment. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still an emotional bitch and I'll cry at like any moment, but I look at it as more as a positive thing now. And death, what I found like being older now and like growing up and having this happen at the time it did, me kind of in my very early 20s, like it kind of it kind of opened my mind to be like, hey, people deal with things differently. And I learned that because when I was open with many people about a death that I was dealing with, everyone had a different response. They didn't have negative responses, they had different responses. And it showed me how there was so much support, and it was so nice, especially because I was back at school and I wasn't here with my family. It was really nice. But again, it was also really not nice being alone many times of the day. And it kind of left me to my own thoughts. And with that being said, I had experienced my first panic attack, which was really overwhelming, as panic attacks are. But my roommate was there to kind of help me out. And I luckily wasn't alone when I had my first panic attack. She was there. She also knows a thing or two about that, so she was helping me, and I really appreciated that. So shout out, Kelly. Love you. It would be really bad if I had a bad roommate, and I'm not gonna hide anything. I don't have a bad roommate. Like, luckily, me and my roommate got along really well, because I know that, there are horror stories about roommates, which they can still come, like, in my life, but for right now, I'm good. I'm good. Anywho. So after dealing with that, I realized that my anxiety had built and built and built and built. And because of that, I realized that I had a lot to deal with. And it was difficult. It's difficult having to kind of tell your family that things aren't the way they used to be and whatnot. But that's just a little life update with what had happened, right before I left school. And then transitioning into the summertime when I got back here home, it was difficult because I felt like I was in the right space. Physically, I liked being home. It feels good to be in this very comforted, relaxing place. I live in upstate New York, and it's absolutely beautiful in the summertime. It's just, I absolutely love it. So I'm so happy I'm here to experience that. But I'm just excited for the next 2 years that are to come before I graduate. And, I have a lot of excitement building, and I think that that's what I needed. Also, I needed a break. If y'all haven't looked at yourself, or if you guys haven't given yourself a second to relax, have a vacation, have a mental break, whether that be, laying in bed for sleeping in, giving yourself a couple days off, please do it. Because it's hard when you're an adult and no one is there to tell you that you need to fix yourself, you need to give yourself a break. And a lot of the times, in my experience, I overwork myself to the point where I feel like I don't have time for a break. Breaks aren't important. And then that's how I end up in the same mental state I was a couple of months ago, and slowly fading out now. But, yeah, that is the heavy shit that I have been dealing with. And I'm in a good state right now that I just want to talk. And the reason why I had started this podcast, which I didn't even freaking introduce it, man. I didn't even introduce it. But this is Sorry About It with me, Kayla Tobias. There's just something about being able to openly speak and wanting to have people listen to snippets of it that just get me really, it's such a nice community. Recently I've been filming a lot of content, but it can look like on my YouTube channel I've gone MIA, which I have. I genuinely have not posted a video, and I think it's almost a year now. I can't even remember the last time I posted a video, if I'm being honest with you. But I've been filming a lot for TikTok because I want to get more used to the social media aspect of marketing. For those who don't know, I go to school for advertising and marketing. And I recently interviewed for a social media intern position, and I don't know that much about social media in marketing because I've never done that, right? But I am an avid user of social media, and I know a lot more about YouTube than I do about TikTok, but my time now being spent mostly on TikTok has helped me a lot. So I'm kind of just working with like what I got. And I'm excited because I'm gaining some traction on TikTok, like slowly, like that's how it works. But I really have found kind of like, I think what makes people want to watch my content. So I'm going to keep doing that. And then hopefully that will lead them to my YouTube. Of course. But, yeah, so I wanted to talk today about something that has been on my mind a lot. And it's just, this podcast, I don't want to be all about love. I want it to be about what I want it to be about. And as of right now, I don't know what that is. But what I do know is that I really enjoy, having open conversations about relationships and like dating life and hookup culture and all these different things. And I want to share my experience. So my first episode was kind of influenced by this idea that like being a bigger girl on dating apps is a whole different perspective from somebody else, and that's, categorizing people and whatnot. But I can say genuinely that you learn a lot from these social media dating apps sort of things. So I have lately been on these apps less. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not on these apps, and it's not because I'm like, I don't need a man, I don't want to date, I'm not like, that would be a lie if I said that stuff, because I want to go on a date, I want to kiss somebody, like, I would love that right now. But for some reason, I don't know if it's my Sag energy that doesn't let it happen, but for some reason, like, I can't hold a conversation anymore with these guys. Like, when I'm when I'm texting people, like, messaging people, like, but what's toxic is I'll wake up in the morning and just, like, I check my, like, social medias, I'm checking my dating apps, like, but I'm not putting in as much. And it's leading me to, like, have no action. I quite literally have no action right now. I am dry. I am the Sahara Desert. Like, I am just dry. And it sucks because it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, I love to have a little fun in the spring, in the summertime. I would love to meet somebody that I can kind of talk to. And don't get me wrong, I have some people that I have talked to, and I do, a little bit of like back and forth with, so on. But it's like, I think I just want to meet new people. I think that's what it is. Like, it's genuinely just this wanting to meet new people, make new impressions, make new connections that can be flirty, fun, and flirty. Like, I don't want to have to be so, like, to a box. Like, and, I've been meeting a lot of new people in the sense that I've been meeting friends of friends. But for some reason, I feel like there's a boundary there. Like, if my friend introduces me to their friend, I feel like there's a boundary there. Like, I'm not trying to take them or have some sort of relationship happen between us and have them. I'm just not one of those people. Like, I don't know. I can never see myself dating or having something going on with a friend of a friend. And that kind of leads me into the main thing I wanted to talk about. There are a couple things I want to talk about, but the first thing is this idea and perception of like how people feel about me dating. And there's a lot of things wrong in this statement that I just said, because I shouldn't, number one, care about what people think about me dating. But I've been open about it to a couple of people in my life, in my very, very little circle, that I'm maybe open to a long-term relationship. And I've never been in a relationship, period. I've never been in a relationship. I've had relationships in terms of different people for years, but it was never labeled. And I think because it was never labeled, it got toxic for me and the other person. And this is in multiple scenarios. And it's been so much that this has happened where I'm at the point where I'm like, that's where I feel like I need labels. I feel like I need a relationship. But, I don't want to call anybody out, but when I had opened up to somebody about this very thing, and I had said what I just said, they were like, oh, but like, aren't you like really into like hookups and like not really having anything serious with anybody? And that's when I realized that is the persona that people think of me as. I have never met anyone who said that I would be, I've never met anyone who's told me that they can see me in a relationship. And for some reason that breaks my heart, because it makes me feel like I have qualities that I don't have qualities that I should. It doesn't mean that I'm not lovable. I think it makes me feel like I'm not tolerable. And that sucks. That sucks. That feeling sucks, man. Let me just see. I'm getting text messages from my mama. You know how she is. Oh my God, y'all. I'm so sorry. Anyway, y'all. So yeah. It's just this idea that I was, so after all of that, I was opened up to this idea from my lovely, 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 lovely friend. And she had told me that you cannot take what those people are saying as how you feel. And that was like, you're right. Like, who gives a shit if they think I can't be in a relationship? Like, if I want to try it out, then I should do that. And, what's funny is that I have this mindset and I'm like, I'm ready. But it's like, I'm not ready. Kind of, because it's like, I have put a pause on these dating apps, even though I like barely get action and I'm barely having full conversations. Yeah. It's just funny, and it's a lot of like thinking about it and all of that, but in ways I feel like I have no love to give. And I think that comes from what has happened since January in my life till now. I had no love to give anybody else but those who are important to my life. My mom, my dad, my sister, like my two closest friends. Like, the love I had to give was reserved for the people I knew deserved it. And normally I'm very open to giving love. And like, I mean affection. I don't mean just love. Like, love is a strong word, but it's like I feel like I have no love to give. Like, like I don't know what it is, but I think that's my heart telling me like, I'm not ready. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that doesn't mean I can't do a little date here and there. I can't socialize, I can't do a little kiss. Like, that doesn't mean that. I think it just means that I'm seeking something, but like in the future. Like, it's just it's far, it's over there, and it's reserved for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of those things where it's there, for me to have later on and for me to cherish later on. But beyond just the constant, like, kind of like dating app thing, I realized that there is a big difference between being in New York City, like New York City men, and then like here in upstate New York. It's just a different vibe, and I'll say that I used to get a lot more matches when I was in the city than I do here. And I'm also realizing that I'm not tolerating a lot of things that I used to, like when I first had these dating apps, like, and I was like on them more actively, like when I had first started school. Now I'm just like, I just don't tolerate it. Like, I can't even have fun. Like, if I know a guy is just, like, doing something stupid, I'm just like, eh. You know what I mean? But beyond all of that, my experience in school has been really good. And I'm so, so, so grateful for that. I ended this past semester with a 4.0 GPA. I got A's in all of my classes, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And I absolutely loved what I learned, and I'm so excited to go into the bachelor's part of this program I'm in and just really see and explore more of what I want to do. But yeah, not everyone is like into the whole academic talk. I know half of the people, all of the people can like probably give less of a shit. But I think that there's something that drives me, and it's always driven me, so I can't help but share it, right? Like, and I know that if I ever fall back on anything with all these grades, it's not the end of the world. Because I'm more than my grades. I think it's just the hard work that I put in, knowing that I got those grades from my work that I put in. That's really why I get excited about it, because it's like I put in the work for it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of how it's been. There's just something about being home, y'all. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking, like, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm excited because you guys have summer plans, because I feel like a lot of people have plans now, since it's been like 2 years since like the start of the pandemic. By no means is the pandemic over, but I feel like a lot of people now are more comfortable with traveling and going out. I know I am. I know I'm feeling definitely comfortable about it as well. And I'm excited. I'm going to go to Massachusetts and hang with my roommate for a bit. And then I'm going to literally like 2 days after I come back from Massachusetts, I'm going to North Carolina. And I've actually been to the Carolinas before, and I absolutely love it. Like, especially in the quiet towns. We normally stay as a family in the quiet beach towns. I don't like doing like any kind of like big cities or areas there, because it gets overwhelming, and especially since it's more of like a beach relaxing vacation, I think it will be really fun. And I'm so grateful that after like 2 years of my family not being able to travel and go out, we're doing it again. So yeah, I'm happy about it. But yeah, y'all, it's been weird. Like, I have been feeling like I'm growing into a better version of myself, like very slowly, but it's happening. Like I had stated at the beginning of the podcast, I am very much like dealing with anxiety, and something I have not dealt with ever before. So I was like looking for ways to really help myself, and what has helped me tremendously is meditation. Like, your girl is meditating on a rock next to the water. Like, that is what I'm doing. And you know what? It's weird because like sometimes these like old white men, they'll be like riding their bikes like by the lake, which is like I have here down the street, and they'll just be like, is she good? Like, what is she doing? Because I'm just sitting there on the rock like, You know what I mean? But I'm fine. If anything, I'm thriving. I think they want to be me. I think that's what it is. I think they're just jealous, right? They're just jealous. Anyway, yo, I'm so annoying. I'm sorry. I'm annoying. I'm going to stop soon. Don't worry. Today I went into Dunkin' without a mobile order, without using the app, like without the drive-thru, and it felt very refreshing, right? Like, I am a mobile order gal. Like, if you know me, you know I'm mobile ordering. Like, if they have an app, I have it. If they have a rewards system program, I got it. Like, I'm enrolled. Like, but with this Dunkin' thing, like, I had gone to go get some groceries today at, like, the small supermarket right locally in my town, which I don't go to often because it's, like, overpriced. It's, like, family-owned, whatever. But I like it because it's family-owned and it's nice. But right next door is a Dunkin'. And I had seen this older woman. And, you know, you could tell, like, she didn't have work today. Like, she was just doing her grocery shopping. And she had her purse on the little thing on the cart. And she had a large iced Dunkin' coffee. And she was just looking at the chips. And she was smiling. Like, the smile was on her face. And I was like, I like that. Like, I want to be that. I really love that for her. Like, she just was having a self-care moment. And I loved it. I loved it. So that influenced me to go get Dunkin'. And honestly, I'm getting the small next time. Because this medium, I can't even tolerate the medium, y'all. Like, I don't know what's happening, but the water has been my favorite lately. You know what's actually been my favorite, though? A good LaCroix. A good LaCroix. I used to hate LaCroix. Why? Because I never had the right flavors. Like, I just was never introduced to the flavors I like. And that's what the problem was. Like, anywho, y'all. I'm going to end it here because I feel like I don't even know what this was. But I'm excited. I'm excited about it, y'all. Let me know. Let me know how you guys are doing. I love interacting with everybody. And I hope everyone's doing well, staying healthy. And overall just loving themselves. You know what I mean? Okay, bye. I'm ending. That's it. I'm getting up. Y'all.